spinning, our mind comes in and goes, whoa, we have to do something here. And we let off the polisher, get it to spin again. So a little bit of this flex machine actually will push through a lot of variances in the panel, but it does have some times when it stalls too. But overall, these are really easy to correct with, okay? A gear-driven machine is this one here, okay? So it doesn't freely spin, but it never stops, okay? So we're gonna use this today. This is basically like a rotary, okay? It's just not leaving that distinguishing mark. So with this one, a little bit different of a technique of how we have to polish, but once you get it down, you don't have to worry about anything. It's never gonna stop. You're never gonna have any variances in the amount of correcting you're doing, okay? But it's a little bit harder on you, that's it, okay? So sometimes you gotta suck it up, okay? Not everything's easy in this business. Actually, nothing's easy in this business. It's all hard, okay? But for a shop, right, you need both of these. You need a free spinning machine and a forced rotation machine, okay? And you can buy those from Steve. He'll sell them to you, I think. You sell Rupes, right, Steve?
Yes.
Yeah. So Rupes has the same machines, so just different company. These are the pads we're going to use today. Okay. This pad right here is my go-to pad. It's a Buff and Shine Eurofiber pad. Works so freaking good. Okay. If you can't finish out good with this pad, then you need to look in here. No, I'm just kidding. It could haze up a panel. I've had it haze up some panels, but certain cars just do that. Didn't matter where I switched to, I hazed it up no matter what. Okay. Chevy Blacks always haze them. Okay. Sometimes Dodges do the same thing. But for cutting purposes, this is an awesome pad. Right? It'll end, if it doesn't haze up the panel, it'll give you a real good ending finish. It's really easy to polish back. We want a cutting pad that finishes out good because we don't want to have to polish to correct again. Okay? We want to polish to enhance. Alright? When we get to the polishing stage, we're looking for clarity, depth, shine. All that stuff comes in the polishing stage. In the compounding stage, we're looking to get out all the scratches, right? And get it to a certain point, right? For foam pads, we're going to use the Edge Guard pad, killer pad from Buff and Shine. The blueberry is their cutting pad, and the yellow is their polishing pad. So we're going to definitely start with this. And then we'll probably have to move into some foam pad just to kind of blow through some whatever's left, okay? And then at the end, we're gonna just hit it with the yellow pad, just finish it out, get a nice shiny depth surface on there, okay? The two products we're gonna use, well, two of the products we're gonna use, we may have to switch on the fly, but it doesn't always mean, we can't sit in here, and Steve can't sit here and say, on this Beamer, only use this, it works every time. That's not true, that'd be a not true statement. Everything needs a test spot, everything needs to see if it's working, right? That's gonna be super hard paint. I feel like Knockout is probably our best shot. Steve, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us about this product, Steve? Like, what's the...
So we had the, it was based on the, on the diminishing compound thing. Because it finishes out, that was what really the goal was. They wanted something that was aggressive, but finished out phenomenal. So if you had a leather car, you might not even have to polish it. You could roll right into, more or less wax it and send it out the door. Was it
right? But it has a little bit of polish in it, would you say?
Down. Even the polish is going to have some type of kind of micro abrasions in it, So it starts out and then breaks down into that micro, and then you get that better finish.
Yeah, so when we talk about diminishing compounds, right? When you're working with compounds, right, we're trying to cut through the paint, right, at a slow rate of speed. Okay, I say slow, right? We don't, obviously we're doing it quickly, but in actuality, we're slowly breaking down this compound, right? As it breaks down, it's able to cut and cut and cut. By the time it breaks completely down, right, we have nothing left but the oils in the product, or this is a water-based product, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is some oil in it, but it's mostly water, and that's basically what we're left. So even though we're seeing it move around, there's a time limit of how long it's gonna actually do the job for, right? We can keep moving it around on the panel, but now we're gonna start getting into marring on the finish because there's no more product underneath there, it's just the pad touching, and that will mar the surface, right? If you just stick the pad on the surface and run it, you're gonna get a mark that's gonna have to come out. When you get the product underneath there, that starts to cut the surface and get the scratch out, levels out the surface. So we've probably got maybe 4 passes is probably the max we would want to do with this product. Would you agree with that, Steve?
Yeah. Again, it was designed also, we were going down the rabbit hole of trying to keep the cost down a little bit more for the dealership.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to pay me $150, $160 a day.
Yeah, which makes no sense because that doesn't cost any money.
Right.
Okay,
Time
they'll
to
go.
save.
You'll drive out in up in $100,000 car and they'll cut you a check for $95,000, no problem. But back in the detail shop, they're not going to pay for a $150 bottle of compound. That would be stupid, right?
Don't-
Meanwhile, that $95,000 car needs tires, brakes, all this stuff that they go into, and they end up making $1,500 off the stupid thing. Okay, that's after we clean it. Okay, so that's what we're going to use to cut, unless we have to switch gears, which I don't think we're going to have to. This is a harsher compound. That's a harder paint. We're going to have to use it. After that, we're going to finish off with Finale. This is pretty much a pure finishing product, right?
It was designed for softer paints and almost fresh paints.
Okay. So am I wrong on that? But that's really our only option.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a little bit more corrective ability than say finisher.
Okay.
Finisher is just overalls.
Yeah, okay. So when I put this together, I didn't know what car we had, so I can't tell if it's going to be a soft paint, hard paint, whatever. But either way, we're finishing, so we don't need something super aggressive, right? Like I said, we want to polish to enhance, not polish to correct. All right? So, any questions? No? I know you guys have a ton of questions. We have a ton of questions. What held you back from getting here at 9 a.m. to crack a 9?
Securing the money for this.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's the truth.
That was the one thing you could have said that we would have excused. So we did go through a lot of stuff. Are you guys a standalone shop? Or what?
So I've been in business for about 1.5 years. I was started off at the Blackwood Car Wash, which I hated just because of the fact that it's a car wash. But
Okay.
it got me in the gate, and I did a little bit of like high performance high-end stereo. I was able to do like a '67 Chrysler. Showed that off. Got best black paint. I did Tuner Evo with Redline. We got best black paint for that as well for their RS. And just kind of got mobile van set up right now. We're out of the shop now, and just trying to progress on that and get him as my main guy.
Okay, so you have a shop and you're mobile?
Well, we put the shop down. It's done. It's actually literally within the last week. It just doesn't make sense for it anymore.
Okay.
And just want to move away from that.
All right.
So, yep.
All right. All right, good. So how about you? What's your story, my guy? I see your Snap-on hat. Were you a mechanic or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cheyenne Autos.
Okay.
Uh,
How long you been doing
just here
this
to
for?
learn. What'd you say?
How long you been doing this for?
On and off for a couple of years since what 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you got some correcting experience?
No,
and stuff like-
no,
Okay.
no. Just
Just
basic.
basic waxing and stuff like that.
He knows polish. That's
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's the
Yep.
that's the good part of it, right?
Now you teach them the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We got best black paint. I don't know what that means.
But
hey,
I don't
it's
know.
gotta be
That's
something.
something. Yeah, I don't know. They.
I got detailer of the year for the idea, but it doesn't mean I'm the best.
Yeah.
detailer.
No. Oh, I'm not that good. I'm just. I take a lot longer than most. So.
All right, cool. So we're gonna go out there. We'll take a little break, and we're gonna go out there, get set up.
Then, the first step is when you do it, when that side you condition the back.
Yeah, the first initial hit. One thing good about this cap is it doesn't really matter because it's got like a good almost eighth of an inch that it's off away from the dripper part, okay? So you don't have to worry about it touching the applicator. So give yourself a nice application, right? Do me a favor, when you're putting this on, don't stand over the car, see?
Yeah.
Okay?
I'll make a permit, like. damn,
All right?
okay.
We don't want that to happen, right? So just hold it back here and do it, okay? So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna lay it down. If you feel like you have really good coverage, you don't have to hashtag it, but just to be on the safe side, let's do. Now, I don't like this, right? Now that happened because I was demonstrating what happens as it comes out of the bottle, right? So let's get rid of this. Don't even worry about it, okay?
Yeah.
All right. And let's get rid of this edge right here. Look, it changed the color of this already. So when you're doing this, right, and you have this body line, okay, don't cross over this body line. If you do, just get rid of it real quick, okay, because that's where it leads to high spots, okay? So, of course, there's no body line here, so you're just gonna have to make a line. But try to, like, come look at my line,
Yeah.
okay? Try to be consistent and straight with it. Don't be all like that, because it's gonna cause you problems when you're on the takeoff, and it's gonna cause you to not know exactly where you stopped and started. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Start
Okay.
your square section.
All right. So, good thing about Extreme is once we get our flash time right, we're only gonna need really one towel to take this off. It does not like another towel coming behind it, okay? So get your flash time right and don't try to wipe over it again, okay? As you're taking it off, make sure it's completely gone and you'll be fine. We won't have any high spots, anything like that, okay? High spots are just caused by not getting the coating completely off, all right? So we're probably at about 2 minutes or so, okay? This door isn't helping. We should probably close that door. Can we close that door? Just, we don't want any kind of crosswind going through. It's gonna throw everything off, right? It may not throw it off here, but when we get back there, it's gonna change everything. So you got a fan going in the shop. You know, I know sometimes it gets hot, but just turn the fan off while you're doing this. Get as calm and still in the here, and your flash times will be fine the whole way through. Otherwise, if you have that breeze coming through, it's gonna start messing with your flash time every time, okay? So probably just a little too far on that. I could have taken it off a little bit sooner. So it's giving me a little pushback, no big deal. Okay?
That's what you want though, right?
Yeah, well, we don't need it.
A little bit of pushback.
Yeah, we don't need it, right? But yeah, it doesn't matter if there
I
is.
still see the protective coating. That's cool.
Yeah. So just because this car took so much work, we're only doing the windows on this one. We can use these yellow towels because it doesn't really matter. I know Ty had mentioned. This is one thing we have to watch out for is when you set the coating towels on the windows.
Yeah, the ceramic.
Yeah, it's not all ceramic, it's mostly solvent.
Right.
That's on your rag, but you don't want to miss that, right? My assistant.
on that damn window. You saw them damn rags on that window? No.
Okay, so get this pad prepped. All right, now with this, there is a way to move these into,
Pop the hood and open it.
and they'll move up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you're gonna have to
Okay.
leave the hood open.
It's okay. We're not gonna mess with that, because we'll just coat here. Okay. So don't do the whole window. Okay. Separate it in sections. Okay. And you'll see it reacts. That's a pretty heavy application, but it'll start reacting pretty quickly when we get to like the side windows and stuff like that. But as soon as you see it start to rainbow out, just go ahead and wipe it off, okay? Right? You're gonna get a 60 ml bottle, all right? You're gonna get, this is called a pre-valve sprayer. So you can get these at Home Depot, right? Comes with a feed tube and a little screen, all right? And this is the cup to keep the product in. I try not to shake this like that because it gets some bubbles in it. And if it gets those air bubbles when it's pulling through here, it'll
Spit. What's that little thing called?
a pre-valve sprayer.
And that's for the wheels.
Correct. Now this is a self-leveling coating, so you do not do anything with it.
Oh, you just spray it on and that's it.
Spray it on and leave it.
Damn. Oh.
Okay, but you do have to prep it right. Okay.
Yep. Get all that dirt and all that
Yep.
bull crap off.
And now these wheels are going to be super easy. Those ones it's going to come into play a little more because there's a lot more curves in it. You have this thing saturated and ready with you, okay? Because if you get a run, which you probably will, you'll get little runs, okay? But if you get a big run and you don't get it and it sets up, you have to sand it off, okay? The shit's, once it sets up, it's
Now,
It's on.
Any of these you gotta sand to get off?
No.
or- Okay.
those could be compounded off. This one cannot be compounded off. Okay, so see what I mean about shaking it too much? All right.
DS-12-1.
So I usually spray it into the wheel well just to get a feel for the spray. Okay. And then make sure your wheels the best it can be. Obviously, this is not a perfect wheel. Okay. Stay about a foot, maybe away. Don't get too close. Being back further is better, but you don't want to be back here because it's atomizing too much, right? So about right here. And like I said, this is a good wheel because it's just silver. Okay? So, now, I'm a little bit heavy right here. Okay? So, watch that. But, if I get just another couple of seconds past here, I'm golden. Okay? Same here. A little bit heavy. Now, if I get these little runs, and we'll see it on that other wheel, it'll be like just a tiny little bit got caught up. I'll take my finger and just go like that when it's wet and just get rid of that kind of like the bubble part. As soon as you knock that off, the rest will level out itself. It's just that kind of run look, it will not. Okay? So if I had a bad, now it's way too far now. Okay, if I go try to panel prep this off, it's gonna like grab it. I can get through it, but I want to do it immediately when I see it. Okay, so, but right now, it's golden. This rim is gonna look good. Look how shiny it is right now. Okay, and it's gonna get even shinier. All right, feel comfortable with that? All right, so when someone says like, what was it, 10H or 9H, right? There's a lot of marketing involved in that, okay? The coating we just sprayed on the wheels lays down at about 400 to 600 nanometers, okay? That coating, once it's cured, can take the 10H pencil test going forward or backwards, okay? This is the machine that measures it, right? Doesn't look like much, right? We coat a panel, and then we let it cure, and then we drag this pencil across it, right? With nothing on the panel, no coating or nothing, just the paint, I had to go down to a 2H pencil before it stopped leaving a scratch. Okay? So, a 9H pencil with no coating or anything on the panel, put a gouger in it, you got to compound out. All right, that's how sharp this pencil is. Okay, and plus we sharpen it, right? We got to keep it, has to be sharp when it does it, or else it's useless, the test, right? The 10H pencil, when you put in there and you run that across the paint with no, I'm sorry, Steve. You run that thing across the paint with no coating on there, you're looking at wet sanding that scratch out. That's how strong that pencil is. These are like drafting pencils, right? They're made for drafting. When you do drafting, you need to do like tight lines, right? Your line can't be real thick when you do that kind of stuff. Now, computers do it now, but back in the day, used to do it by hand. But it makes this really tight line. It's not real, a lot of lead doesn't hit the page, but it's real tight. So the less lead hits the page, the tighter the line can be. So they're super sharp pencils and they're really hard. Extreme is a 10H, okay? So is Extreme HG. The way we're able to be a 10H with that is because that one that we sprayed on is Extreme in a different form, and that one can take this pencil test. So there's some marketing there, right? Doesn't really mean a lot. A coating's not gonna take someone go by it with a key and scratch it. It's not gonna take that. You're gonna cut right through the coating. I don't care if we layer it 10 times, right? If we did layer, the first layer is gonna be 200 nanometers, right? That's your best amount adheres to the panel, okay? Then we put another layer on there and we hit it right. It doesn't rejuvenate the coating, or the coating isn't so hard that it rejects it. It's able to accept that next layer. It would be 100 nanometers, then 50, then 25, then 12 and a half. So you're not getting 200 nanometers every time. Now there will be, if you did it and stopped it and then ran your finger up, you did a bunch of times, you could feel a raise if you were hitting it right every time. Okay, but it's very hard to do. You open yourself up to a lot of high spots when you do layers. It doesn't really matter that once the hydrophobics are messed up on the coating, that's what the customer sees. You have to take it off and lay it back on, okay? So a little bit of marketing with 9H and 10H. As long as you can prove that the coating can do it, whether you stack it a bunch of times or spray it on, then you can say it's a 9 or 10H, but there's no actual entity like regulating all this stuff, all right? Okay, so this is our scrub test, right? Now these are some of our coatings, and then all like top name competitor coatings too. All right, so this is the water angle, right? That's the bead of water that you see on a car. That's called the water angle, right? And this is scrubs, okay? So this is every time we get to a certain amount of scrubs, the panel comes out, it gets remeasured again, and then put back in. Okay, so 2,000 scrubs is equal to someone washing their car every other week for 7 years. Okay, which is, nobody washes their car every other week, unless they're going through a car wash, okay? And that's not what this is based on. We're talking someone hand washing their car, okay? So this is Extreme and Extreme HG. We get over the 100 mark every time. And look at Extreme stays over 100 all the way to 2,000 scrubs, okay? Adams hit 100. That's the only one so far we've actually had hit 100. But you see immediately it drops down, okay? So this is kind of our generic advertising chart that we show. If we put down, like this is Ceramic Pro, I think IGL, System X, and then another one, what's Kenzo? That's IGL, right? I think FenLab. Oh no, I'm sorry, this red one is actually Pro. Huh?
FenLab sucks.
Yeah, FenLab does not do good in this test. Okay. What's that? I would do it if I could get it. I can't get a hold of it. You know, someone they won't let me buy it from them. Because I think you have to be certified to do that coating, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get somebody to buy it.
Okay. Even if I just have a little bit of it, doesn't matter. Okay. I just need enough to do a panel about that day. Okay. So this is what we advertise, we show to everybody. If we put everybody's name here, they would just make one up that would show ours as bad, right?
Right.
So it's not good business to down other people's, you know, you never say, oh, Extreme sucks if you're Auto Magic, right? You say Extreme has a good product. We feel ours is better because of this.
Right.
Okay, that's good business. All right, someone down the street from you does crappy work. You don't say, well, I'm more him than because he does shitty work and I don't. That's not a good way to get a customer. Okay, so this is how we come up with this chart, right? This is the scrub machine. And this is what's called a goniometer. It drops a tiny bead of water down on a panel and sends a signal to the computer. Once we get that reading, the panel goes back into this scrub machine, and it has a little bit of car wash soap, a minor amount, and a microfiber wax pad, which is already an aggressive way to wash anything. So coatings would probably do better if we had just a lamb's wool wash mitt, right? But we want to try to see how we can break them, right? So once this thing sets this little bead of water down, this is what the computer sees. Okay, here's the panel or the substrate. Here's the reflection that the computer sees. So that tells you how intense this is, right? And then you see this is the water angle, right? This water angle is a 70. It's actually a 72.4. The amount of volume is 14.7 or 4.717. Has a base of 2.91 and a height of 1.06. Okay, so it's real short, right? Flat, has a lot of contact right here. Okay, what does that mean? The car has to go probably 30 miles an hour before this water bead starts coming up the hood. Eventually anything, even with no wax, the wind is gonna pull it up the hood, right? So probably about 35 miles an hour on this, okay? And even if it was an aerodynamic car, that might be enough to go right over this, okay? So this is an 80, really an 81.0, okay? So still the same amount of volume. The base has gotten smaller, right? This part got smaller, went down to 2.71 from 2.91, and the height got taller, right? So it went from 1.06 to 1.16. So it's the same volume of water, right? It just stood it up, right? It started to close it in, all right? So we want it to keep closing in. That gets us a taller water angle, right? Here's a 92.3. The volume went down to 4.11. The base is only 2.45, so it's brought it way in. It's starting to even come around. And the height is up again, it's up to 1.28. All right, so 90 is good, and the 90s is good. Most coatings hit around the 90s. Okay, jade, all jades hit around 96. You getting ready to go?
Yeah,
Okay, grab your thing.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day. Thank you.
too.
See you. Good luck, y'all. You too. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll be here.
This right here, okay, so at 80, we'd probably drop the speed down to the high 20s, right? It's gonna start moving up the car. 90s, we're down into the low 20s, maybe in the teens, right? It's gonna start moving up the car. This is extreme. So we've got an angle of 112.5. The base is only 3.96. Now look at it, it's already starting to make this circle. Okay? Yeah. So 180 would be a perfect sphere. All right, it wouldn't even hold on, it would fall off the car. Okay? But look how we jumped in height to 1.48 from 1.28.
Yeah.
So significant difference, right? What does that mean? Immediately when the car leaves, as soon as you take your foot off the brake, it's gonna start moving.
Yeah, you can tell there's no grip on it.
Yeah, there's no way, it can't hold on for long. So we'd be down like this, 8 to 10 mile an hour range, all right? And then, it's not that big of a difference, but it is when the customer sees that happen immediately, okay? That's what we want them to see. So what are the benefits of these coatings, right? We protect from the sun's UV rays, which does fading, dries out paint, cracking, and clear coat oxidation. We protect from chemical stains like bird dropping, acid rain, and car wash chemicals. We add hydrophobic properties, which add water angle, ease of cleaning, and it doesn't break down like wax. And then with ours, what separates us is we add oleophobic properties too. So we protect from like tree sap, road tar, stuff like that. Stuff that you need solvents to get back off, right? Remember that piece of sap that we took off yesterday? We need that IPA to do it, right? So with most coatings, well, let's just talk about the hydrophobic effect. Okay, so this is extreme. So we see just right away, just sitting there, it's coming down the car, okay? This is what we want to stop from happening. We want to protect against this. This is what happened. This is a bird stain. This is what that thing would look like if we got right up on it. Okay? These are cracks in the paint that they will not come back. Okay? This is Steve's Mini Cooper right here. Parked in the wrong spot. And then we want to protect against these. Like even a touch-free wash is better than a friction wash, but chemical-wise, this is worse than a friction wash, right? Steve, you service some touch-free washes, right?
Yeah.
You could throw the kitchen sink at a car and it still doesn't clean it, right? But you're talking about high pH and low pH. put on at about 50 to 1.
And super PSI.
Yeah, and here you're talking about high pH and low pH put on at 350 to 1. Okay?
Yeah.
But overall, this, if I could have one way to do it, I would prefer this way. Okay, over going through here, because although this is a brand new wash, nowadays, never see washes like this. Okay, so whatever's on his car, if he's in front of you, is getting washed onto your car.
Yeah.
All right, so if he went out mudding in his truck, all that's trapped in the brushes. It's impossible to clean these things. You can't do it. Usually they have mitters that hang down, and those are impossible to clean. And car washes don't clean they don't clean up car washes. They're cleaning for a car wash is to hose down this area right here. That's it. That's about the most they do. And then they run them into the ground from there on. So oleophobicity, right? This is what tree sap can do. Okay, here's tree sap like we did, right? Okay, so to take off tree sap, we need chemicals like this, tree sap remover from Extreme, right? Very high in IPA or isopropyl alcohol, right? That's what takes off sap. You don't use solvents to take off sap because solvents come underneath something and heat it up and take it off that way. Isopropyl alcohol works from the top and works its way through. It's slower process, but you don't have the mark. It doesn't leave the mark behind. And we saw that yesterday, right?
Yep.
Like we took that spot off and there wasn't even a mark below it. If we'd have took solvent or lacquer thinner and did that, it would have left where that thing was, it would have left a mark behind. Okay, so always use it. He doesn't have a tree sap remover because it's just a smoke and mirrors product. He has a tree sap remover because it actually works on tree sap. So use chemicals that do what they're supposed to do. Okay, so this is the IPA test or isopropyl alcohol test, right? This is a regular coating with no oleophobic properties. Okay, when IPA hits it, right? You see how it settles out right here and flattens out? If we wipe that clean and put it under the water, that hydrophobic layer is going to be impeded now. So everywhere you take the sap off, there's not going to be any hydrophobicity. There'll still be some here, but not anywhere where you took the sap off. Okay, this is 1500. You can see it rejects it already. Okay, and this is extreme. Look, it almost turns it into a bead. You can just shake it off and it doesn't affect the hydrophobic layer at all. How does that help you as an installer? When the coating comes back and someone went up to the mountains and gets sap on it, which will happen, it's a sticky substance. It's going to stick to a coating. Doesn't matter how slick it is, no matter what, right? To take it off, you're going to have to use tree sap remover, which is high in IPA. If you don't have oleophobicity in the product, you're going to have to cut it off and reapply it wherever you took the sap off. With ours, you won't have to. Okay?
Extremes don't.
Same with things like this, right? Road tar, right? It's going to need solvent to get it off.
Yeah.
Most coatings be detrimental to it. Ours, it won't hurt it. All right? So, what are some things that a ceramic coating cannot do? It can't stop swirls. That's what we put in as technicians, right, with polishers. It can help a paint scratch, right? If a tree branch runs down the side of the car and it's about this big, only if it's coming down like that, when it sits up and then it changes direction, where it's sat up will get through the coating for sure. There's just too much force involved and it could be too sharp for the thing. But for the most part, I've had scratches about this long turn out to be a real scratch about that big because most of it was just in the coating. Okay, when I took the coating off, I ended up with this tiny little piece. Okay, so there is some protection from paint scratches. You know, normal little scratches, somebody walking by or something like that, they're all gonna be, it either won't scratch or it would be in the coating, not the paint. Normally that would be in the paint, we'd have to cut the paint, that takes life off the paint. Okay, it can't stop rock chips. They're susceptible to water spotting, but those same water spots will be on the car. And it doesn't stop the need to wash your car. So this is what we want to do. We want to take this, turn it into this, coat it, be good to go. Right? Coatings are protecting our work too. All right? So everything that we do is now protected by the coating. All right? So let's talk about removing a ceramic coating. What do we need? We need a compound, a polisher, and an aggressive pad. Okay? That will get the coating off. All right? So here's I had to take off an older coating that had been on for a while. It was still performing pretty well, so it still had some life to it, but the guy wanted it redone anyway. It was just getting too scratched up. His wife kept going through the car wash and everything. So if you see right here, can you see that design right there?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. And then you can see it again start right here. All right, so my guy did this side of the car. I did the other side of the car, right? He had gone home, right? I was just prepping it to lay down the new coating, and I noticed this, okay? So because he wasn't thorough enough.
Yeah.
See it right here?
Yeah, she just cool.
Okay. So he just took the polisher, went up to here, went back, went up to here, went back, never hit this section. Okay, so that means if I try to coat that, even though the coating is not that great, it's still going to reject the new coating. Okay? So you have to get it completely off to reapply. All right? So this is after just going over it one time with the polisher. Okay, so see how good it looks there?
Yeah.
All right? So, if you're cutting off a coating and you're not sure if you got it, just take the panel prep, spray it on there, move it with the towel, you'll know right away if you got it all. Okay? So now we're getting into the sales stuff, so we don't have to even bother with that. Let's get out of here. You guys good?